and welcome to the start of the season of the 2013 NASCAR in our 2003 series. Boy, we are here for the practice area / qualifying session for the beginning of the season. Many drivers coming in this season and new cars, new rides, and it's going to be very amazing. I don't know what these guys are expected out of here in this qualifying session. They're going to come out on the racetrack and they're going to see each other all for the first time. Some guys going to be putting on a session here to put up for some pack racing, some qualifying sessions. Some guys going to run some single car runs, some pack racing. But this is also a qualifying session, so you probably will see some guys get out there and want to run in some packs and try and get on the pole for the Daytona 500. For the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in our 2003 series, yeah, these guys are gonna, the 500 is the biggest race of the season, so these guys coming out on the racetrack, getting their cars set and ready to take to the tracks for the first time ever in the start of this season here at Daytona. Mark Martin coming out on the racetrack for his time. Coming out with nobody on the racetrack along with him. Mark came runner-up for the Daytona 500 up here in 2007. So, yeah, Mark, you know, back with Michael Waltrip Racing for this season. Gonna try and go for that oh-so-valuable championship he's always been looking for. But Mark Martin coming up on the end of his career here, so good to see him coming on the racetrack for the start of the 2013 season. Right behind him is David Ragan. Had a mistake here in the 2011 Daytona 500. Ended up swapping lanes near the end of the race and ended up costing him a black flag and ended up losing the Daytona 500. And yeah, David also won the Daytona Coke 0400 later that season and driving for Roush Fenway. So David Ragan driving for Front Row Motorsports on the racetrack right now. Casey Kane out there on the racetrack with Clint Boyer. They're going to hook up together here and probably try and get a good qualifying run here as they go. Now, one thing here for the Daytona Speed Weeks is before I get to talking more about this, the way this league will run is how the first practice session is also a qualifying session. So while you're practicing, you're also making your time for your qualifying session. And then after this qualifying session, you're going to have the Daytona duels. So you're going to have the Budweiser duels here. So that'll determine the starting field for the first through 42nd cars right there. So yeah, that'll be pretty insane right there in the duels. It's gonna be at nighttime, and then after the duels, you will have a happy hour session for the final practice. So yeah, then we'll be getting to the Daytona 500. So you want to stay tuned for that and see who can try and win the biggest race of the season. This is a pack of 4 cars right here that we've been focusing on. Kyle Busch in the 18 car has been really close to winning this Daytona 500 for so many times. Been really fast coming down in the Daytona many years, and Kyle Busch just not been able to get it done. Maybe a good qualifying effort here today, trying to probably get on the pole here. Got Ragan, Boyer, Kane, and Patrick now in this pack as Danica, the rookie, is going to line up with these guys as well. So, going to get some good experience for her. Many people are hyped up about Danica making her first ever attempt in the Daytona 500. So, yeah. Bobby Labonte running around the racetrack. He's all by himself in the 47 crew right here. He came right 4th in the Daytona 500 back with Trevor Bayne back then when Trevor Bayne won the 500. Speaking of Trevor Bayne, there he is, the 2011 Daytona 500 winner. Hasn't really spoke out much lately in the Sprint Cup Series. So, yeah, gonna try and show out here at Daytona where he last won in 2011. Stenhouse, Danica Patrick's boyfriend, also running around on the racetrack here with this little pack as well. Running around with Dale Jr., Marcus Ambrose, and Trevor Bayne. You want to get as much people lined up in a pack as you can to try and get up a good amount of speed here to get yourself up there and probably try and get on the pole for the Daytona 500. Eric Almirola and Ryan Newman, they run around out there together, working together, trying to get up to some good speed. Let's see where they run right here as Ryan Newman goes on right by him, and they do not pick up. They slow down a bit. And you also have this little pack right here. A lot of guys that you got a bunch of underfunded teams that are up in there in this little pack as well. You got David Gilliland, JJ Yaley, Tony Stewart, David Strimmy, and Michael McDowell. There's Ken Schrader. Terry Labonte is supposed to be in that car for this this race, but Ken Schrader is going to be driving the car just for this practice session, just before Terry Labonte can be able to get to this racetrack. So, yeah, that team's going to have to go to the rear of the field to start the Budweiser duels if they want to get in, as Ken Schrader will pull it on in. Matt Kenseth's also been fairly quick in the test sessions we've had, so it's good to see Matt Kenseth for the Joe Gibbs crew showing off some speed there. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how Matt Kenseth does for Joe Gibbs Racing. Kevin Harvick out there on the racetrack now with Juan Pablo Montoya, Martin Truex Jr., and Travis Kvapil. All of them out there in the line. Montoya is actually 7th quick right now, so that's pretty good for him. Where's Harvick at? He's inside the top 10 as well. Ran right there in 10th position. Kevin Harvick leaving Kevin Harvick Incorporated, or not Kevin Harvick Incorporated, or RCR at the end of the season, and will be going over to Stuart Haas. So Kevin Harvick out there, he ended up winning the Daytona 500 in 2007 for this team. Gonna try and get another victory here. Martin Truex Jr. out there running on the racetrack, 5th on the board, and he will actually pick up a good bit, up to 3rd place for Truex. And Montoya, did he pick up any? No, he's actually slowed down a bit, 7th quick. Harvick actually ran quicker that last lap, but he still stays in 10th position. So this is a little fast pack right here, and Kvapil is hanging in on the rear of this field, so he's actually getting a good time in for that BK Racing crew. Jimmy Johnson out here with Denny Hamlin running right here. They're working together to try and get a fast lap in. Morgan Shepherd making his first ever Daytona 500 attempt since all the way back in 1997 was the last time we saw Morgan Shepherd and the Daytona 500 driving for the Brian Keselowski Racing team. Right now runs 37th on the board, trying to tail in on this little pack right here with Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin. A.J. Allmendinger with no ride is going to join Phoenix Racing for the Daytona 500. He's going to come out on the racetrack now. Joey Logano and Greg Biffle come out on the racetrack. They are working together to try and make a fast line, or fast lap. So they run single file to try and pick up some speed here. Joe Nemechek running about right in behind here as well. There is no go homers. We only have 42 guys expected to like enter for the whole season, so nobody will be failing to qualify for these races. So that's pretty cool. Danica Patrick goes to the top of the board. The female driver, the rookie, Danica Patrick, already getting a hand of this Speed Weeks here. She is on top of the charts right now, running right there with David Reagan right there, and Danica Patrick first right now on the pole as it runs, but that could change. But Danica Patrick, what a run for her so far. Right now, quickest on the board. Mark Martin, Casey Kane, Jeff Burton, and Kyle Busch all on the racetrack. They're all working together right here. Casey Kane looks like he's the only guy that's actually up there pretty high. Actually, Kyle Busch, my bad there, running 11th. Everyone else is pretty low in the charts, actually, in this little pack here. So they're going to try and pick up some speed here. But what a run for Danica Patrick right now. First on the board. She is going to come across the line and still not going to beat that fastest lap right there. But David Ragan also is 4th on the board as well. Oh, we're getting pretty tight right here. 3 Wide Racing trying to maneuver around the slower Ken Schrader, who just rejoined on the racetrack. Needs to kind of pick up the pace here and see how the car feels for Terry Labonte later in the speed weeks here for the Pack Racing. So Kyle Busch pushes Kasey Kahne along by. Kasey Kahne 2nd on the board. Second on the board behind Danica Patrick. Patrick leads this pack right here. She is the quickest right now in the qualifying session we're having. David Ragan going to go low. He's 4th on the board. Let's see if he'll pick up here. Is David Ragan going to pick up? No, not at all. He's going to slow down a bit. Kyle Busch still runs right there in 11th position. Kasey Kahne still running 2nd in practice / qualifying right now. And whoa, Jeff Burton all over Ken Schrader there, pushing him right up to Kasey Kahne. So this should be a fast lap for Ken Schrader and Jeff Burton. A big pack right here. Clint Bowyer is going to slowly fall into the crutches of this pack right here. He's probably going to speed up a little bit after he gets in this pack. Casey Mears right now inside the top 10. Good run for that team right there. He's going to fall right into this pack right here. That's probably going to be good for him to try and pick up the speed here. As we got a pretty big pack right here of cars. Jeff Burton up to 6th. Ken Schrader up to 18th on the board now. So they did pick up. 33rd is still Mark Martin. And David Ragan is still in 4th position. Stenhouse, along with Dale Jr., A.J. Allmendinger, and Bobby Labonte, they still run in this little pack right here. None of them are really any quick. They still are all in a little line here trying to pick up some speed. Ryan Newman right now runs with Eric Almirola, his car owner of Tony Stewart, and David Gilliland, as they're all trying to pick up the speed. Ryan Newman 13th on the board. Almirola is 8th inside the top 10. And is Mark Martin blowing up in the 55 car? Mark Martin in the 55. Blowing up right there. That is not good at all for Mark Martin. Mark Martin was 33rd on the board, and he is blowing up right here in qualifying. There goes his teammate Truex on by, but Mark Martin, this is not going to be good because he's going to have to change engines after this, and he's going to go to the rear of the field in qualifying. So he'll have to start at the dead end of the field in the Budweiser duels. Morgan Shepherd still really slow, along with Greg Biffle. There's Joey Logano. He's also very slow as well. He's 38th on the board. Not what we expected from him. Right now, there goes him and his teammate on out. Well, Brad Keselowski's pulling in as Joey Logano's going out. Brad Keselowski, defending champion, is 31st. And the pack is still, of these cars right here, still not really that fast. But, you know, it is what it is. Paul Menard, 37th on the board right here with Marcus Ambrose and Jeff Gordon. Gordon's 16th, while the other guys in front of him are in the 30s. David Rudeman, my bad, is 32nd as well. There's Josh Wise driving for Front Row Racing there in the 35. Underfunded Ford car, so running right there, P35 as well. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 cars never really had luck here at on the super speedways, especially here at Daytona. Always has troubles at the beginning of the race, the beginning of the season. Here at Daytona, right now runs with Matt Kenseth. Kenseth is right now really low, 40th, as Jimmy Johnson pulls it on in. Kenseth runs 40th on the board, very slow. Does he pick up here? Actually, he was so close to beating his lap there, but no, Matt Kenseth still is a little off the pace. Edwards in 27th. Brad Keselowski returns to the racetrack and try and see if he can't pick up or not, as Kurt Busch also will come out on the racetrack. Jeff Burton, Clint Bowyer, Dave Blaney, and Ken Schrader are the guys that are still left out here. That was in the remaining of the big pack we last had. Clint Bowyer, 34th. And Jeff Burton still inside the top 10 after running in that big pack. We're going to go away to a commercial break. We'll be back here in a minute. you haven't missed much. We're back, and A.G. Allmendinger is running right now 28th on the board for Phoenix Racing, running single car runs. Let's see if he can't pick up here. He's all taped up on the front of those we see, and see what he can run. Well, he's quicker than he actually was earlier in the session, but still not as fast as lap that he ran in pack runs. So A.G. Allmendinger still in 28th position. J.J. Yaley driving for the 36 team right there is 5th on the board. Good job by J.J. Yaley there to get up inside the top 5. Mark Martin, who blew up in coming to the turn 4 there. I'm pretty sure Mark Martin still, even though he went to a backup while he's in qualifying, that's going to result in him having to go to the rear of the field and his lap will be disallowed. So Mark Martin just getting some laps running around the racetrack to see how it will feel. Bobby Labonte, Ken Schrader there on pit road. J.J. Yaley still running fairly slow, trying to get in line with the pack here to see how it'll run. Paul Menard on the racetrack, 37th there, not very good for him. Marcus Ambrose still low on the charts. Joey Logano back on the racetrack, seeing if he can't pick it up. Yaley tags along with his pack here, and Kevin Harvick runs 23rd. So many guys just trying to see how their car will feel in pack runs, but some guys are out there running single car runs like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and David Strimmy. Edwards and Kenseth are trying to pick up some sort of speed that they can make up. Kenseth needs to really pick it up. He right now runs 40th on the board, only beating 2 guys out of the 42 car field that we have right now. Kenseth dives to the low side to see if he can't pick it up, drafting off of Edwards. Yeah, he picks it up, but still is... Oh, no, he actually picked it up to 37th quick now. So, but it's still kind of slow, but it's running 2-car draft, so that the aerodynamics lately has really slowed him down. Danica Patrick in the 10 car, and the GoDaddy Chevrolet for her first ever NASCAR attempt is still on the pole as it runs right now. So, good run for her, as she is drafting with Juan Pablo Montoya. Trevor Baynes right in behind, but I don't think he's in their draft. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right there, 26 on the board. Danica Patrick's boyfriend right there. Got to be a little proud there to see your lady out the front on the charts there. Greg Biffle out on the racetrack, still really low on the charts. Trying to see if he can't pick it up here, getting help from David Gilliland. Gilliland drives down the inside. Gilliland's actually way up there in the charts. 10th on the board for him, or 9th on the board. See if he can't pick it up. No. He'll actually slow down, and he runs, and he drops down to 10th on the board. Eric Almirola is 9th on the board. Gilliland down to 10th. Clint Boyer actually picked it up a lot right there. He's up to 8th position now here in qualifying with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. Good run for them, as some guys are just trying to pick it up. Denny Hamlin right now in this pack. He's got a very fast car now going to the inside here. 3 wide. Ooh, Jeff Burton really fast right there. Denny Hamlin and Jeff Burton look like they're on a very flaming fast lap here. Let's keep an eye on them. Across the start-finish line, Denny Hamlin actually just so close, 0.03 of a second off his fastest lap. Still will be in 26th position. Jeff Burton slows down, but he still is inside the top 10, 6th on the charts. Gilliland in 12th now, dropping down a little bit there. Michael McDowell in 26th position, now inside the pack. He looks like he's got a fast car. He drafted up to these guys. With less than about 30 seconds remaining, these guys are just trying to get everything out of it as they can. Still looks like Denny Hamlin's got a very fast hot rod there, but Clint Boyer also looks like he's very fast, but they're gonna come on in. Let's see if any of these guys pick up here. Eric Almirola, not gonna do it. Neither any of these other guys, so they're still a little slow. Morgan Shepherd still 41st on the board, along with Nemechek, who was down in 40th, and Josh Wise is down 37th on the board. So these guys struggling to find speed here for their underfunded teams. Brad Keselowski, last time we saw him, he was really slow, but practice is over. And they're going to return to pit road. Brad Keselowski picks it up late in the session. Jeff Gordon, 20th on the board there. And David Reutimann, 30th. As everyone's going to be bringing it on in. And the practice area / qualifying session is over. Danica Patrick and the 10 GoDaddy Chevrolet for her first ever start here at Daytona for the Daytona 500. She will start right there on the pole. Danica Patrick and Kasey Kahne, first and second, they will be on the front row for the Daytona 500. All they have to do is make sure they do not get involved in an incident out there in the Gatorade, or not the Gatorade, the Budweiser duels, and they will be good. They will start first and second for the 500. Martin Truex Jr. will get third. David Ragan right there in fourth position. A little shocker right there that David Ragan and J.J. Yeley would get inside the top 5 for this qualifying session. Jeff Burton will be getting 6th position right there with Tony Stewart in 7th. Brad Keselowski picked it up late in the going in the qualifying session. He will get 8th. Clint Bowyer, 9th on the board. He picked it up late in the session as well. Kevin Harvick jumped up to 10th late in the going. He will round out your top 10. Eric Almirola right there in 11th. David Gilliland, we saw him inside the top 5 early on in the going. He dropped down to 12th position. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., we saw him running around in the 20s. He's now up to 13th position. The 13th car will be in 14th position there of Casey Mears. David Strumme surprising some people there, getting 15th. Kyle Busch also right there in 16th position. Ryan Newman also picked it up as well. He will get 17th. Dave Blaney, he kind of picked it up late in the going as well. He'll get 18th position there. Juan Pablo Montoya, he was kind of around in the middle of the field. He will line up himself 19th on the board. Jeff Gordon, not talked about him much. He will be 20th on the board in qualifying. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will get 21st. Kurt Busch, 22nd. Ken Schrader, we expect Terry Labonte to jump in that car for the Budweiser duels, the happy hour in the Daytona 500. That team will have to go to the rear of the field. Their time will be disallowed. Travis Kvapil, he will line up in 24th position. Bobby Labonte, didn't talk about him much. He runs right there 25th. Neither did we talk about Michael McDowell all that much either. He gets 26th. Denny Hamlin, he gets 11th right there on the board, and Paul Menard also will get 28th. Did not have the best qualifying effort. Jimmy Johnson, we did not expect much out of him. We expected more out of him, actually, to do good in this qualifying session. Never really does have the luck here at Daytona to do anything really special besides winning that one Daytona 500 back in 2006. Carl Edwards also right there 30th. And A.J. Allmendinger 31st. Trevor Bayne, we talked about him early in the going of this qualifying session. Never did anything much. 32nd for him. Marcus Ambrose will be in 33rd. David Reutimann, he will get 34th. Mark Martin, he blew an engine. His time will be disallowed. He'll be 35th. Joey Logano never could pick it up. He will be in 36th position. Josh Wise struggled to get any speed all practice session and qualifying. He will line up in 37th on the board. Matt Kenseth, he also struggled to get some sort of a good speed. He will end up getting 38th. Greg Biffle, along with Kenseth, did not get a good qualifying run there. But yeah, and Joe Nemechek will get 40th position there, and Morgan Shepherd will round out the field there last on the board. Well, that's the end of the qualifying session. This lady right here will have the pole for the Daytona 500. We'll see you there for the Daytona Budweiser duels. Thanks for staying with us and checking us out here. Let's get you ready to see for the Daytona Budweiser duels coming this Thursday. See you guys later.